Hi there, this is the Baby You Want TV, your place for evidence-based whole you fertility education and support. My name is Nicole, and if you like my content, I would love you to subscribe or head over to thebabyyouwant.com and check out my fertility freebies, my blog, my fertility type quiz, and more. Now in this video, I want to get a little more nuanced and true to you about how to do home pregnancy tests. This video is going to be especially useful if you're waiting for a pregnancy blood test at a clinic and you're trying to decide whether or not you want to test at home sooner with a p-test. That said, it'll still be plenty helpful if you aren't planning a clinic blood draw too. We're about to cover two key considerations that I want you to think about when you're deciding if you should test or not to test and how. The first consideration is know yourself, and the second is think about your partner factors too. Let's break them down. Okay, have you already been staring down at 2 years of month after month after month negative tests? Have you just done a hopeful new fertility treatment where your odds are vastly improved, like a donor egg IVF cycle? Have you had 2 pregnancy losses in the last year and a positive test doesn't really mean anything exciting anymore? You can see what I'm getting at, right? It doesn't matter what your fertility best friend does or what someone on a forum tells you they did or you should do. You have to consider your specific history and present circumstances if you're going to make your best choice. Now, as you're thinking about your history and current situation, I want you to also think about how would it feel to do a home pregnancy test and see a negative. In some cases, seeing one more negative is just too much. In that case, it's way better to either wait longer and see if the period comes if you're not on progesterone, or wait to go in for the blood test at the clinic. On the other hand, you might be totally okay seeing a negative test because you really are into the idea of testing early and watching for a line to appear because it feels exciting and you're okay going on that emotional ride. No one can say what you're up for besides you, so I want you to think about it. Quick note on testing early and false positives. Yes, you can get a false positive if you used an HCG injectable medication as part of your IVF or IUI cycle and you test too soon. But other types of false positives are super rare. So if you see a very faint positive and you're sure there's no chance it's from an HCG shot, it is positive. That's not to say mission accomplished and you're done. You might want to see if the line gets darker in another day or two, but it is still positive. And there is still reason to hope here, especially if you're testing on the earlier side of things. The last know yourself factor I want you to think about is, what does knowing your current pregnancy test results do for you? Does it help you process the news ahead of time so that you don't have to think so fast and you'll have an easier time asking some follow-up questions when your clinic gives you the official blood work results? Or does it just make you a hot mess because you'd rather have a more concrete blood test number instead of just a general line with no further details? Does it feel really special because it's at home and you've done so much that feels so clinical and you just want a chance to have a little bit of normalcy? Or is it the exact opposite? Has it all been really clinical, so why not this too? To wrap up consideration number 1, know yourself. I want you to think about your history with pregnancy tests, how you're feeling about this particular cycle, how you'd feel seeing a possible negative test, and last but definitely not least, what would a test, positive or negative, do for you if you're also still going to do a blood test at your clinic? Think about it all and make your best customized choice. Now, this is just a slight extension of know yourself for those of you with partners, but not only do you want to think about what this all means for you, but I want you to think about what it means for your partner if you have one, and for you both as a couple too. I was once giving a talk with an RE from CCRM, and someone in the audience asked the doctor why it is that clinics always call the woman or the person who's trying to get pregnant and not the partner, especially when there's bad news. The woman in the audience said it just felt like another burden and another way that she had to carry more than her partner in this process. Now, of course, the doctor was very kind and explained that this is in large part just because of privacy protection, which makes sense. But that definitely doesn't mean what this person in the audience was saying isn't relevant and important to do what we can about. So think about whether having your partner watch the home test and report it to you feels more equitable and like less of a burden for you, or check it out together. And if you don't opt to do a home test, I want you to still think about how you can do these same things when taking a call or reading the clinic results. Can you be together and get the results at the same time, or can you defer to voicemail, or can you listen later when you're both together? Again, it's not that there's one right way to do any of this. I just want you to be thoughtful and intentional about what's going to be the best for you all around. There are so many times in this process of infertility that you have little to no choice but to do some protocol, some one-size-fits-all thing. But a pregnancy test doesn't have to be one of those things. So that's it. Think about what feels right for you, think about what feels right for your relationship and partner if you have one, and take back some control here. I hope this feels like a small but empowered shift. Remember, small things add up. That goes for trauma, but it also goes for protecting yourself from trauma too. Until next time, head on over and check out thebabyyouwant.com. I'd love you to enroll in the program and be a part of the Baby You Want crew starting today. Thanks for watching. The last know yourself factor that I want you to think about real good. Be thoughtful about it,